it was a dog. A big, scary black dog. Noises on her back. She felt as she was being followed. When she turned around, there was no one there.
When a person gets to a high level, controlling magic, they think they're above the law?
They certainly start going after whatever they want.
And go after whoever they want.
This happened at Guerrero, and it's anonymous. You're gonna understand why after I tell you the story. In Guerrero, there are cities where if you study and want to graduate from university, you have to do social service. Normally in there, they don't send you to do a social service in the city. They send you to these locations that are far away from the city, and they're small towns that they don't have enough professionals to do the job. So that happened to her. She got sent so far away that she had to take a transit because there was no direct buses to that town. That's how far away from civilization she was. During the internship, she will go during the week, work the whole week, and then come back on the weekends to stay at her home with her family. One of these occasions, they asked her in the internship to bring some paperwork back to the city. She asked for an extension for her to be late on the next day, for her to be able to stay with her family and then take the first bus in the morning. They told her no, that she had to be there on time for her internship on the next day. She wasn't very happy about this, so she woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning to take the first bus to the next town for her to be able to take the first bus from the town to the city. She got there and she thought it was gonna be a normal process, that it was gonna take her maybe 3 or 4 hours. You know how in Mexico, bureaucratic paperwork can take a long time.
They ask for the picture, they ask for this document, this many copies. They start asking for so many things that it can even take days.
That day, it took her the double of time. She spent almost 8 hours doing that paperwork. When she saw the time, she knew she had to run to make it to the buses in time for her to make it to the town where she was doing the internship. This happened in the early 2000s. Back then in Guerrero, they didn't have public lighting on these towns, so everyone carried one oil lamp for them to be able to see. She was able to make it to the first town, and she had to run for the bus station to make it to the last bus for her to be able to make it to the town where she was doing the internship. It was around half a mile she had to walk, 1 kilometer. When she was walking this distance, she says she started hearing noises on her back. She felt as she was being followed. When she turned around, there was no one there. So she ran to the bus station and she was able to make it for the last bus before it left. It was around 9:10 at night when she made it to the bus station. She bought her ticket and she was waiting for the departure of the transit for her to make it to the town where she was doing the internship. She says she was the only person to get on the bus and that no one arrived to the town that she was doing the internship with her. When she got out of the bus, she still felt as if someone had came with her from the other town. Even though she was feeling like if she was being stalked, she felt at ease because she didn't know no one in the other town. And at least in this town, she already know people, and she had this small house that someone lent her for her to live at while she was doing her internship. So she thought this feeling was mostly that she had to hurry up and make it home. She made it home very fast. She got there, closed the door, and she lived in a very small house with just a small kitchen and her room. In her room was her bed, the bathroom, and a window. Guerrero, being a state that is in the coast, it's a very hot state, and over there she didn't have any AC or a fan. So she got home, opened her window, and jumped into the shower, took a bath, got ready to go to bed, and she lay down in bed looking at the window as she normally did. Suddenly, she fell into a deep sleep. And as everyone else in these stories we have told, she got sleep paralysis. Suddenly, she saw this shadow coming from the window. Being a woman living alone on Guerrero, she thought the worst. She thought it was a man trying to get in and do the worst to her. But when this shadow jumped into the bedroom, she saw it wasn't the face of a human. It was a dog. A big, scary black dog. She heard her paws on the wooden floor. At first, she thought it was just a vivid dream, nothing more. But then, she felt how it started smelling her food. The snout breathing her from the foot to the leg coming up, feeling the drawling from its nuts, feeling the hot air coming out and in from its nose, smelling her. She was terrified, petrified. So she wasn't able to move, but she thought to herself that she could pray, and she started praying everything she knew. She asked for the help of saints, angels, Jesus Christ, whoever that could intervene in this. And suddenly, she woke up. She was able to move. She looked around looking for the dog in the bedroom, but nothing was there. She stood up and closed the window. She locked the window in the way that it couldn't be opened again. She tried to go back to sleep, but she couldn't. She would sleep like 20 minutes at a time and then wake up being scared, looking for something to be on the room, until she saw the room was still empty. Suddenly, around 4 o'clock in the morning, she fell into a deep sleep. As she fell asleep, again the sleep paralysis got her. She saw this shadow come to the window again, and this dog, with its snout, opened the window. It jumped back into the bedroom and walked near her, hearing how with its paws will scratch the wooden floor. This time, it didn't get near to her feet to smell it. It went straight to her neck. She was feeling the wet nose of the dog on her skin, the breath coming in and out of the dog, the drooling on her neck, how it was just smelling her. Suddenly, she remembered that the first time she got there to that town, a lady told her, "Be very careful because there are warlocks around and they like to pay special attention to young ladies like you." She was terrified. She was afraid. She was very nervous. She didn't know what to do. And then she felt how it got closer and closer. But she remembered that when she was a kid, her grandma had told her to be careful with the Nahuales and taught her that she could take control of that situation. That first, she had to calm her mind. Then she would have to calm her spirit. And she would have to pray, being determined that she could kick that thing away. But it was very hard to do this, because this dog was starting to get on bed with her. She could feel the mattress sank with her. So she did as her grandma taught her. She calmed her mind. She calmed her soul. She calmed her spirit. And then her prayers, for being someone that was begging for help, she was determined to kick this thing away. She woke up, and again, she was alone. There was nothing there. But when she saw the window, she could see where that dog had put the snout to open the window. She closed the window again, and being away from her family, in a town where she didn't know no one, being this afraid, and in that time that there was no phone signal on that town, the only thing she could do was cry. So she hugged her pillow, she tucked in and cried it out. But after that night, she knew how to fight it. And even though every now and then she can see that thing from the corner of her eye on her dreams, she makes sure to face it while praying determined to not let nothing or no one hurt her never again.
It seems there's always a way to fight back.
It has to be. It it needs to be.